We shall call to order the Woodland Park Planning Commission, Woodland Park City Hall Council Chambers, July 28th, 2016, 7 p.m. Call to order and roll call.
Thank you. DeVoe?
Here.
Watson? Hartsfield?
Here.
Hislop?
Here.
Penland?
Here.
Probst? Scanlon?
Here.
Schrader?
Here.
And Stannard.
Here.
Mr. Chair, we do have a quorum with 7 members present.
Will you join us with the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes. Any questions, changes, corrections?
It was a few months ago, April 28th was our last meeting.
No, it's like, I don't remember saying these things, but I'll take y'all's word for it.
I remember we were here. Okay, hearing none, motion to approve the minutes.
I'll
move.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. Okay, item 4, public hearings. A, sub 16-003, Paradise of Colorado. Request for the city's review and approval of a 2-year extension to the Top of Paradise Filing 1, preliminary plat, also known as Paradise of Colorado, for 29 single-family lots remaining on 31 acres, generally located northeast of Thunder Ridge Drive and Majestic Parkway, as requested by North Peak Properties, LLC.
Thank you. I do have a brief overview of this request for an extension of a preliminary plat. And first of all, the Top of Paradise. I wanted to start with the zoning map, and outlined in green is an approximately 200-acre subdivision that has been partially final platted, preliminary platted, and then master planned. So the preliminary plat portion is outlined in red here, and the part that you can see the individual lots is the portion that has been final platted. So what you're doing this evening is recommending to City Council to keep the portion of the preliminary plat, which is this area about 31 acres to the northeast of the first and second filings of the final plat, valid. And this is the 7th extension for this. Not unusual for, this was a 51 lot development initially, and the sale of lots has been slow over the last 10 or so years, so it's not unusual to request an extension to keep it valid. Here is the master plan for the 200 acres, and outlined in red was the original preliminary plat. The portion that is still being requested to remain valid is this portion to the east. And here is the preliminary plat that was approved a number of years ago in 2005. The portion that is outlined in blue is what has been final platted and currently under development. We have a couple of homes that are under construction at this point. In fact, one is a parade home that hopefully will be open next weekend for the general public to see. And so the future filings are shown in red, outlined in red, about 29 lots still on this 31 acres for the balance of this preliminary plat. So with that, there are no criteria with which the staff has to review these extensions other than to evaluate whether it's a reasonable request. The slow recovery in selling off the lots has caused the preliminary plat to stay as is, and no infrastructure has been installed in this area. And we do look to see if anything has changed in our subdivision regulations that may cause a preliminary plat to be questionable. However, the only thing that we have changed in Title 17 has been to add cluster housing, and that's a whole separate process. So it does not affect this preliminary plat. Staff recommends approval of the extension, and Mr. Chuck Mahoney is here this evening representing the owner, and he would be happy to answer any questions as well as I. Thank you.
Sally, could you explain briefly what would happen if this extension was denied?
If the extension were denied, then it would cause the owner to come back and resubmit the preliminary plat.
Thank you.
Mr. Mahoney.
Mr. Chairman. For the record, my name is Chuck Mahoney. I reside at 674 Lucky Lady Drive in Woodland Park. I am here representing North Peak Properties, LLC, as representing Park State Bank and the Trust Department, which handles this investment group's portfolio. I am familiar with this subdivision, being in the construction and development arena for 32 years here in Woodland Park. So this is part of a property that the bank got in a deed in lieu of foreclosure in 2010. This property we sold. Of the 29 lots, we have 12 left that were final platted, and we sold 5 in the last year, 4 of them as a result of the parade of homes that we had last year. So we're looking forward to more, and we're seeing the market pick up. So we're all encouraged by this. The investor that bought this 31 acres is a friend of the bank and has no immediate plans for development, but we're just trying to do everything we can to keep things positioned so that if another developer comes along, or that person or that investment group decides to do something, that things are positioned, they can go ahead and move forward.
Questions? Geez, gotta skip over a couple. Okay, since there's no questions, we'll open public comment. Okay.
Thank you for your
Oh,
consideration.
thank you. We may call you back up again if we get a rush.
I'll stay under oath.
Okay. Anybody signed up?
No, sir.
What's that?
No, sir.
Okay. We'll close public comment then. We don't need a rebuttal. Any final questions?
Yes.
from Anybody?
Sally, this is for a 2-year extension, is that correct?
Yes.
Can we make it longer? So we don't have to do this in 2 years?
You could propose it longer, but I think that 2 years is a reasonable amount of time, and it's not a huge costly expense to come forward and renew it each year. It's been our practice to do 1 or 2 years.
Thank you.
We get to see you in 2 years.
Yeah, I might add that if they were to come in and plat 1 lot, it would extend it for another year. So that's an option that they may have, is to, toward the end of the 2-year extension, is to choose one of the lots that is along a improved road. And they have several of them on this map that could be easily platted, particularly down in this area. So they could come in and plat 2 or 3 lots that are adjacent with a minor final plat, and that would extend it another year.
Since it says their amended master plan is valid through 2020, in a way, I guess, since that plan is, why couldn't we do it for the 4 years to bring it up to that same date?
You could, but as I mentioned, if we were to amend our subdivision regulations and would change something, then we don't have the opportunity to say denied and come back with a revised preliminary plat.
Any other questions? Looking for a motion and a second.
Make a motion, should I read the entire thing? That to approve the SUB 16-003, Paradise of Colorado, the request, the city's review and approval of a 2-year extension for the top of Paradise, so forth and so on.
Second.
Have a motion and a second?
Thank you. DeVoe,
Yes.
Hartsfield,
Yes.
Hislop,
Yes.
Penland,
Yes.
Scanlon,
Yes.
Schrader,
Yes.
and Stannard.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously, and City Council will hear the same request next Thursday.
Thank you.
Thank you for your consideration. Thanks for serving on the committee, too.
That's a beautiful development, actually.
Well, I don't have a report. Anybody else got a report? Planning director have a report?
Just a reminder that we do have 2 cases next Planning Commission meeting, so that will be August 11th. And City Planner Laura Pellegrino is working those cases, so please do let us know if you can be here. And on your desk, we have provided you the June monthly report from the Planning and Building Department. We highlighted the Fountain Creek improvements that you had issued a flood hazard development permit for. And if you've been behind Safeway and had a peek
quite a
at
project.
what's been going on, the 4 drop structures are being added to that reach of Fountain Creek, and very pleased with how that's going. The city will process a letter of map revision because we're modifying the elevations of the base flood elevation, so that the contract for the process was approved by City Council at their last meeting. So that's moving along nicely. And just a note that we have had 8 single families as of the end of June, but last week we issued 4
Wow.
single families. So now we're up to 12, and we have a couple more in the pipeline. So we just may reach the prediction that Skip Howe's made that perhaps we will sell 24 single families for the year. But it is, as Mr. Mahoney said, things are picking up, and we're seeing more activity.
And that will be the best year in quite a number of
in
years.
Several years,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
2006 was
I
probably.
remember when we built this whole, I think we were one of the only homes that year, 2013,
I think we did.
12, 13, that got built that year.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's great.
So it is nice to see things picking up, and we're also seeing quite a few of the projects coming up out of the ground. The Goodwill project, the assisted living project,
That's a
the
big
apartments at Valley View, and of course the Aquatic Center
Yep.
is underway. So our office is busy, and it's pretty exciting.
It's exciting to see all that going on around
It
town.
is.
It really is.
It's really popped.
Makes you feel good.
Sally,
It does.
remind me what's going on behind the old Tweeds building?
That's an assisted living building, the
That's what
first
that'll be
building.
these days.
I thought it was, but I didn't remember
Yeah,
for sure.
First phase of
Yeah, we'll be neighbors.
possibly
next
two.
days there.
2, right.
Yeah.
25 beds in each building.
Thank you.
So other than that, we'll have a brief work session this evening and get back together on August 11th.
Motion to adjourn to the work session.
So moved.
Second.
All those in, second? All those in favor? We're adjourned.
Okay.
Yeah, that's quite a wall they're building.
Yeah, it is. Several steps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They've really filled that thing in.
Yeah. Yeah, so that.
Well, I guess
There's
on the old
there's that
Queen
fellow